Hello everybody, Sega Sean here once again bringing you another video, this time a rant video. Yeah, looks like the last video did pretty good on the Nintendo NX and the future of the Wii U and whatnot. That really went well, and apparently there are people out there that want to hear my opinions, and that's fantastic. I didn't even expect the video to turn out to be 30 minutes, but statistics show that you guys stuck through it all, and I've gotten lots of feedback on it from different people liking the video. So, hey, I am completely happy about that. But that has inspired me to make a few more rant videos. Perhaps this will be an ongoing series. I will keep the name SGSR, which stands for Super Game Strikers Rants. And this series is not just exclusive to me. This has inspired other members of Super Game Strikers to join in on the fun, so maybe next time I won't be alone. Kaiju Lou definitely wants to get on board with this, so we can have maybe possibly a debate type of deal, or I'm not really sure about the future, but once again, I gotta thank you guys for watching the previous rant video, and here we go with the second one, covering the subject of Street Fighter V. Before I get started though, I do want to clarify on one thing. Last time I felt that I was jumping around a little bit too much, not really getting a full focus on each subject that I was talking about with the NX rant and with the Wii U and everything. I just felt like I kept on jumping back and forth, but like I said before, the feedback has been positive. Nothing really negative at all, and the views stand for it as well. It's slowly becoming one of our most popular videos on the channel yet. So once again, thanks for that, but I feel like I can improve the experience, and with that, everything will be unscripted still. This is coming from me, nobody else. This is just my opinion, and my opinion only, but I have some parts of Street Fighter V that I am going to talk about right here, written down for me, so if I ever get lost or off track, hopefully these little things will help me out. Stay on subject, stay focused. But okay, without further ado, let us get into the subject of Street Fighter V, what I think of it, what's going on with it. I think you guys may have an idea of where this is going. Alright, so here we go. Street Fighter. Oh, Street Fighter. I've had such fond memories with the franchise since the old days of the arcade in the 90s. Popping in millions of quarters to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all of your arcade hits. And if you know me well enough, that was a complete lie. I am unfortunately able to say that I have no experience with Street Fighter at all. Let alone even fighting games, to be honest. Mortal Kombat as well, never really played it that much. I have tried it out in the past on the Sega Genesis, but only until I started getting into video game collecting. Really the only fighting games I've taken the time to play and love and learn would be probably Injustice, which I guess you could say is like Mortal Kombat since it's made by NetherRealm Studios, and of course Super Smash Bros. From Nintendo. But as for Street Fighter, nothing. Zilch, nope, nada, nothing. So why am I trying to get into the franchise now? What has driven me to get to this point of pre-ordering Street Fighter V and just being ecstatic for it to come? And well, let me begin from the beginning. I was never into fighting games. Not really into them that much still, but I wanted to get into Street Fighter V. I purchased Street Fighter IV for my 3DS at launch of the 3DS, and I didn't mind it, but I really didn't put that much time into it. especially because I learned that people kind of downed the 3DS version for, well, even though being a very good handheld version of Street Fighter 4, it was apparently looked at as noob bait because the touchscreen was able to allow you to use special combo moves and stuff, your special moves by the touch of a button, or rather the touch screen. But I didn't mind it. Of course, then going online, got my butt kicked many a times, and after about a month of trying, I just stopped. There just seemed to be no reason for me to move on with Street Fighter 4, and it was kind of late. I believe the 3DS version came out like way after Street Fighter 4 had come out. Maybe a year? I'm not exactly sure. But then 2015 rolls around, and it starts showing off Street Fighter 5. Or was it 2016? No, it had to be 2015, yeah. And I started seeing the trailers. I watched the trailers. I found a very fun... I love this guy's channel, Maximilian Dude. I watch his channel often. I still do. Watching his Street Fighter content. All of his stuff. I love Benny, the dog of hype. All that stuff. You could say that I'm more about anything else Street Fighter than the game. Before Street Fighter 5 came out, I purchased at my local retro video game store a 20th, I believe it's 20th, not 25th, 20th anniversary box set for Street Fighter, because I started getting hooked. After watching some of the trailers for Street Fighter 5, finding channels devoted to fighting games, I really wanted to get into it. I really wanted to get into Street Fighter 5. And upon seeing more and more trailers showing off that, hey, this is going to have a lot of modes, this is going to... It looks like it's going to have like a training mode where it's going to be able to help out anybody, try and get good. And I was all for that. I'm like, yes, I am completely all for that. This is the perfect time to get into Street Fighter 5. This is claiming to be the next generation of fighting games and stuff. And what better name to trust than Street Fighter, right? I mean, I've heard so much about the franchise, and I just never got into it. And after purchasing the 20th anniversary box set, I was completely hooked, which that 20th anniversary box set comes with a Ryu statue. I should really do an unboxing video, or maybe just show it off one day, because it's really a sight to behold if you have no idea about it. It comes with a Ryu statue, a Ryu's belt, or I don't want to call it anything wrong, so just leave it at belt. It's pretty much a belt. A Blu-ray with pretty much, I think, every episode of the corny Street Fighter 2, or was it based on Street Fighter 2 cartoon. There were a couple movies on there, including Street Fighter 4 for Xbox 360 and Street Fighter X Tekken. And the complete soundtracks to like a whole bunch of Street Fighter games. It literally is the ultimate love package for any Street Fighter fan. And as I said, I am literally a fan of Street Fighter for anything else but the games. Or at least at that point. I was literally watching the movies constantly, looking up on YouTube stuff about Street Fighter, the history, looking up characters, reading about them. I was hooked. And I kept on telling myself, what better point of time to get into the franchise than now? This Street Fighter 5 game looks to be really for everybody. Like, it's looking to be like, the graphics are amazing, the soundtrack sounds so good, and the gameplay looks solid. I'm on board. And thus, I pre-ordered the game. Ahead of time, may I say, I was kind of in a bind, too, because I wanted the Street Fighter 5 since I had gotten the 20th anniversary set, I really, really, really wanted the Street Fighter V pre-order set, which came with the Ryu statue, with the kind of okay pose. I don't really, believe me when I say this, the 20th anniversary Street Fighter V set was a lot better. Especially the Ryu statue's pose. It was him doing the Shoryuken, and that's a fine pose, but for Street Fighter V, they chose to do the pose that Ryu was doing on the game's cover, which is fine, obviously, that it goes hand in hand, but the way how the statue looks, it looks a bit odd. The arms are crossed, and he's looking so far down. It's not as bad as the Link amiibo. I will say that, because if you know amiibo, I collect amiibo like crazy. The Link amiibo is just terrible, because Link looks completely like he's looking down, like he's just looking down at the floor. And I know they were trying to copy the pose that he's doing in the rendered art for Smash Brothers, but it just does not work well. And with the Ryu statue, it's almost like that, almost. But if you look at a certain angle, like if you look at him dead on, you'll see it'll be fine. There's nothing bad about that. But you just have to look dead on and you'll be fine. But enough about that. Let's try and get into the game before this goes on for 30 minutes. I can't promise anything though, folks. But okay, so what happened? Yeah, I really wanted to get the Street Fighter V pre-order bundle at GameStop, because I love the pre-order special costume for Ryu. Looks like a worn-torn warrior. It was perfect. I was like, yes. Either that or Chun-Li for other obvious reasons. Ho-ho. But besides that, I really I was ecstatic. And so I tried pre-ordering the game at GameStop. Unfortunately, I was a little too late. But I went online with GameStop, and they were still taking orders. It was just that I had to do it online. In store, though, at my local store, they were not. Online, though, they were. And I was like, oh, well, this is kind of weird, but okay, I will do this. And thus I did. And I was able to get it. Hallelujah, I was in heaven. I continue to watch Street Fighter news. The trailers leading up to the release, everything. Everybody was hyped. And then the game released. I believe it came on the day. No, it did not. I think it came 2 days after it released, which I didn't care about. I was just pumped up for the game itself. I was like, okay, I can wait a couple days, whatever. I waited this long, and thus it came. Opened it up, set up the Ryu statue, looking great. I work nights. I've said that a billion times, so my schedule is a little hectic during the week. But usually on the weekends I have the days off. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna play you during the weekend. You sit tight, Street Fighter V. Sit there right on top of my game shelf. I will be back for you. I think it was Thursday, so I'm like, I will be back for you Friday afternoon when I'm all caught up on my sleep and ready to go, and thus it happened. And what happened was excitement. It went from excitement to putting in the game, and then I had to wait for it to update or install. Curse these future games. So I was like, oh boy, a 3-hour wait or whatever it was. I'm like, all right, I'll do something else. So I forgot what I played. I think I played Mario Maker, and just passed the time by, and finally, after waiting all the time, it started up. And immediately it was a little bit, I was a little concerned. The intro, the CG intro the complete intro is online. It's glorious. If you've ever seen the complete intro for Street Fighter V, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really well done. and I should expect no less from Capcom because they usually do a really good job with CG movies and stuff. It's always a phenomenal job with graphics and everything. Like, it always has like a unique art style and stuff, and it just looked great. But in game, it was cut short upon starting up the game, and I was a little confused about that. I was like, okay, if I remember right, it doesn't even start at the beginning. I think it starts like in the like first. It's like in the middle or something like that, and then I don't even think it ends. I don't even think it ends right. I think it just ends like halfway, and I was like, come on. I've never went on a rant before about CG intros with video games, but I have talked about it a bunch of times with my friends, and they all know how I feel about the subject. I'll go into it very lightly. Remember at a time in the early 2000s especially, and going on to probably maybe 2011, 2012, probably around there, every single game that I would ever play, just about every single game, would always have a really interesting CG intro, or something that introduces you to the game, whether it include gameplay or it's just complete CG. Take, for example, a lot or most Sonic games, starting from Adventure going to, I think Sonic Colors. Or, I don't remember if Sonic Transformed came out after. Well, Sonic Transformed had an intro as well, Sonic Transformed. But Sonic Colors, a main Sonic game, I should say. Sonic Colors marked the last one, the last game in the series so far? Yeah, well, I guess Lost World. But yeah, bottom line, it seems like nowadays, video game developers, companies and stuff do not put the effort into their game presentation as they used to. I mean, they do, don't get me wrong, there are fantastic games with fantastic graphics, and maybe they felt that, kids and stuff like that or whatever that would get the game would just press skip. I've been in many situations where maybe I'm babysitting or something like that, the neighbors, kids next door, I have done that in the past and stuff, and or at a friend's house, and they just completely boom, we're playing a video game. It's Sonic Unleashed's intro, which is probably the best out of the series' intros. And it's just, nope, just click start. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, really? Really? You want to skip that? You've never even seen this game before. You never even played it. Don't you want to see this intro? And they're just like, no, it's boring. I'm like, boring? That is not boring, but okay, fine, let's just get into the game. I forgive them because they're not a nerd like me, and I know there are a bunch of people out there like me that are the same way with intros. No matter how many times they boot up a game, if it has a damn good intro, you're gonna watch that intro every single time, unless if you're trying to get to the point, then fine. But Sonic Adventure 2, definitely. Sonic Unleashed, no, because it's long, but I will watch it often. What the heck? I really can't think of any others, but if Street Fighter V's intro was intact, I would watch it all the way through, just about every time, because that thing is beautiful. But it turned out to be even not only cut, but it wasn't even in good quality. There was some graininess to the picture, and that shocked me. I was like, wait. YouTube can get better resolution than the game itself? What is going on? And you cut it too. Why? And so the intro played, and Pandamere was in the bathroom, and she was the game had started up, and we were both wanting to experience it together or whatever, and I waited, and the game started after it had booted up or whatever, after it updated, And as the intro played, I'm like, oh my god, here's the intro. It's cut, but at least it's kind of here. So the game started up, and I'm like, no, wait a minute. Mary needs to see that, That Panda Mary needs to see that. So I restarted it really quick. I went back to the PlayStation Home menu, and yeah, she came back. And I'm like, all right, you got to see, they're gonna play the intro, And I turned it on again, or I booted up the game again, and the intro didn't play. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is odd. What happened to the intro? All right, yeah, so it was half-assed, it was cut short, it was in grainy quality, but what happened? And Mary's like, what are you trying to show me? I'm like, oh, hold on. We are watching this intro. You cannot miss it. It's gonna get you hyped. That was the whole point of the intro in the first place, to get you hyped. Every single time you put that game on, hell, you're at a party and your friends come over to verse you in Street Fighter, and you're like, hey, yo, check out this intro. And, you could be talking with your friends, stuff like that, and they're like, you have that casual glance over at the TV, and you just have that smirk on your face like, oh yeah, this is happening. This is getting real. And, your friend will look too, and you're like, and he or she is like, oh my god, this looks cool, this looks great, and it just hypes you up. That's the most important thing about an intro to me, and why I miss it so much. To me, it's an important part of the experience that's now being stripped away thanks to people skipping. But if you're listening this far and you're into Street Fighter, like say if you are one of the high prime people that are versing all the time online and stuff like that, I don't know if you've been listening this long, because I'm sure to you guys, maybe this isn't that important. Maybe it's not. And that's fine, because there are all different types of people and stuff like that, and maybe you just don't care about the intro. But to me, I won't focus on it anymore. I'm just saying that to me, I was like, okay, we're not even into the gameplay, and I wouldn't even say nitpicking, because to me this seems like a big thing that's been happening lately. No intros whatsoever. Only once in a while. And now I am so happy to see an intro on something. Man, I am just a mess. So, anyway, I'm like, okay, well, hold on, Pandamere, you are watching this intro. So I booted up YouTube really quick on the Wii U, and thanks to that lovely tablet, we didn't even have to change a channel. I just showed her really quick, and she's like, wow, this is cool. Why wasn't it in the game? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, I want this soundtrack. I'm like, I know, and I'm sure it'll be up soon. Hell, we got some bits of the soundtrack due to pre-ordering it, but I doubt we'll use that because we don't even have a laptop to our name. So, yeah. Poor people alert. Whoop whoop. That's definitely us. So, alright. So we got past the intro. Let's start up the game with this. Yes, I did. And there are a lot. What actually happened? Oh yes, that's right. There was a tutorial. And I was psyched about it. I was hyped because I'm like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I need. This is what's to help me out. And Ken would say, hey, do this, and then I would do it. And then he'd throw an attack at me, and I'd have to block it or something. And I'm like, yes, this is what I need. This is my first entry into the Street Fighter franchise that I am into it. I am ready for this. And I want to be trained as best as possible. This isn't like Smash Brothers where it's like on a 2D plane. Oh, well, it is, but I mean, Smash Brothers is very easy to grasp. It's just button command after button. There are no crazy combos. You kind of have to make your own. And that's fine. But with Street Fighter, it's a little bit more complicated, and that's fine. I want to learn it. I want to give my best, that I can. So I want to do my best. I want to learn. And this is exactly for me. So to some others, they'd be like, ugh, tutorial, come on. But to me, I guess you could say a casual gamer in this sense. I don't like being labeled as a casual gamer because, to be honest, that's definitely not true. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, tutorial, awesome. I'm like, yes, this is what I need. And then the menu came up, I believe. Yeah, the menu comes up, and I was like, oh, online is needed, and you need to make a little code for yourself, a little username thing, I guess you want to call it, gamer tag thing. So I made one, and it's like connecting to server, cannot connect to server, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't have online now. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't have online for a next-gen console. What are you doing? Why don't you have online? I don't feel like paying money to play online when I already pay money to have online. Just to enlighten you all, I have no internet for my PlayStation 4. My Wii U I do, because it's free. Now, I understand game companies, they need their money. That's fine. But I don't know, to me, you shouldn't have to pay for online. Because then you're also paying for DLC. You pay so much in games nowadays. It's pretty ridiculous. And I don't know. To me, I don't believe in paying for online. If I absolutely have to, I will. But for this case in point, with Street Fighter, do I really want to? Do I really want to pay online for a game that I'm not sure I'm going to like? I mean, online is kind of expensive. I mean, it's... I don't even want to get the prices, because I can't even think of them right now, but I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for online for a game that I already put $60 in. At least they're not charging for DLC this time, but you can actually unlock different characters and stuff with fight money that you earn in the game. Okay, cool with that. I'm cool with that, I guess. That's really fine, actually. That drives you to play even more. So, okay, there's no online mode because I don't have online. Okay, that's fine. I don't think I am ready for online anyway because, well, I'm not that good. I am a complete noob to Street Fighter. I don't know. I don't have any experience. So, okay. What other features does the game have to offer to me? Well, it's Street Fighter, and you know where this is going. What am I about to say? Where's the arcade mode? There's a story mode, I said as I searched through the menu, but where's arcade mode? Now, I was one of the people that watched the trailer. I believe it was the launch trailer, or maybe one that came before that showed off the features of the game. And I will say they did not talk about arcade mode. They didn't bring it up at all, so they actually didn't lie. But you just kind of expect something like that in a fighting game, you know what I mean? I mean, of course you know what I mean. You've heard millions of other people talk about Street Fighter V and why there's no arcade mode. Why isn't there? It's something you kind of expect. It's a standard. Street Fighter is supposed to be the one that's, you know, with all the arcade goodies from the 90s and stuff. You know where I'm getting at. And it doesn't have a simple arcade mode. Now, I understand I'm making this review / rant thing going on here a little late, but the game is still being updated and will be updated throughout months. months upon months, because each month an update / character will come out with more stuff to get in the shop and everything. Alternate colors for your characters, apparently. All that good stuff. So good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I say to myself as I'm still playing the game for the first time. And I'm like, okay, so there's no arcade mode, alright. There's a versus mode, but, well, call me cheap, and I will get one eventually when it really calls for it, but I'm like, oh, I need a second PlayStation 4 controller for that. I'm not blaming anybody for that. I'm not talking bad about PlayStation or anything like that. That's me. Although I will say that controllers are very expensive nowadays, and I know they kind of always were, but to that extent of a game, maybe even more. Yeah, no, that's really expensive. But that's my fault. That is on me. So I'm not ranting and raving about that. What I am getting to is story mode, which is supposedly single player's bread and butter, besides training. Okay then, let's go to story mode. So the menu pops up for story mode, and yeah, looks like I can play story mode for every single character. Wow, this is gonna take a while for every single character. Never mind about online mode. I won't even need that because I have this. All right, let's start with Ryu. And so I played through Ryu's story in about 10 minutes. Done with it. Oh. Oh. And these fights aren't even a challenge. I mean, at least it's helping me a little bit spread my legs, but hell, I might as well be in training mode at this point. At least I'm getting fighter points. Not bad. I can use that towards the shop probably to buy some new stuff. No big deal. So I play through story mode after story mode for each and every character until I'm done. Which, by the way, the story mode, the story itself for each character is very loose. The voice acting is not bad. I don't mind that. But otherwise, figuring out where you are half the time and what's going on, why things are happening, for the most part, for a lot of characters, there's no clue as to what exactly is going on. Sure, there are hints at evil plans and all that lovely stuff, but there's never a direct explanation. Okay then. Well, it did say that there was going to be an update later on with a free story mode, like an expansive one, which is kind of like arcade mode, I guess, so okay. Alright. I guess I'll let this slide. Well, what's there left to do? Survival mode and training. Alright, let's try survival. So I click on survival and, well, it's exactly as it sounds. Try and survive as long as you can without dying. Kind of like can't talk. Kind of like arcade mode, but not exactly. It's complicated. It's not even arcade mode. It's close, but it's not. Maybe they thought story mode and this survival mode would suffice, but it's not. It's just not. There's just something about arcade mode that's just better. But okay, here you go. How about a challenge? Well, then again, in survival mode, there is a challenge. There is a learning curve, so I guess I could get better at the game by playing this. But I'm kind of feeling a little down right now. So far, I've paid so much money for this, and it's not really giving me a full experience. Well, okay, at least I can spend some money in the shop. What's this? I say as I try and select the shop. It's not open. It's not available. Okay then. Well, here's the $60 game I paid for. Or I'm sorry, $100. Here's the $100 game I paid for, but of course, some of that money went towards the statue and the extra little goodies, I may add. So no, it wasn't all towards the game. In fact, probably the rest of the cost, like for the reuse statue and everything else, probably amounted to $50. Okay, alright, I guess. Probably not likely. It was probably more like 30, because the quality of the statue was good. It was good, but I don't know. Maybe it was because of the height of it and stuff like that. So I guess. But regardless, I feel like I'm not getting a full package. There's just nothing. Alright, so I'm not paying for online yet because I'm not good. And I know when I go online, I'm going to get worse. So now what? Well, alright. It says here that DLC is planned monthly. So, okay. So I wait a month. And I'm like, maybe the shop will be open with the update. I've been seeing a lot of comments in different places where, that the shop will be open. And I hope so, because apparently from the trailers, there's going to be stages, alternate costumes. Yeah. It looks like there's gonna be a lot of stuff to buy. I am all for that, of course. I want to add to my gaming experience. I mean, how else am I supposed to use up these fighting points that I've earned from the story mode, which are a lot, I might add. So the new update comes, and we have Axel. Oh, and by the way, all the characters, even though there's not a whole lot on the roster, definitely not even comparing to Street Fighter 4. But there are a decent amount of characters, for the most part. Graphics are beautiful. Soundtrack is amazing. Gameplay, not bad. Gameplay isn't bad. I've seen a lot of people's videos claiming that there are some things that really need to get patched up. But it's more for the pros, like, hits not landing and stuff and whatnot. So, okay. But regardless, it's still a very well-presented game. It's just that there's no content for people that don't want to go online. Now, I know I've had a million excuses from different people and suggestions and stuff like, well, if you don't like that one, why don't you just play the previous games in the series? Okay, good point, I guess, but I bought this game. So you're telling me if I want to enjoy the full, if I want to enjoy the full Sonic the Hedgehog experience, when I have, Sonic Boom of all things with me, I have to purchase another game? Like, say if I didn't have, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is considered to be one of the best of the best. Okay, so I gotta buy that. When I already bought this, that shouldn't be. I'm buying a product because it's supposed to be the best. It claims to be the best. It's supposed to bring out a new generation of Street Fighters everywhere. And it just seems like it's supporting the online hardcore crowd. I have to say, I'm feeling a little left out. I mean, I was looking forward to this, and it still kind of hurts in a way. Not badly, but I mean, once again, this is way after the Street Fighter V rants and reviews have been pushed out, by people. The game has been out for months, but I mean, content is still getting added, like Guile or Gil, am I even pronouncing it right? Just got added to the roster at the time of this rant. I don't know when this is going to be uploaded. Probably, maybe depending on how fast I can get it done. We have a lot planned for Season 2, but I just wanted to get this rant out of the way because I've planned on it from the beginning. I planned on doing Street Fighter V for the first rant, but NX was really hot at the time, with news, the big reveal and stuff, so yeah. But, what am I expecting from the future of Street Fighter? I don't know. I would hope a better game full of content. The gameplay, as I said, is fine. It's polished. It needs a little work from what I hear, because I still haven't bought a controller, and I really don't have anybody to play with because, well, I mean, they either don't have the system, they don't really want to play it, or there's they're not that great and they get mad at losing. I mean, I'm not downing that person. I don't mind that, but you know, I don't know. Maybe it's more on my end than anything. I don't know, but I have seen many people express the same kind of concern as I have. For the future of gaming as a whole, do we really need to release games that aren't complete? Certain games that do need to be released, like incomplete, I guess, even though it is to people's dismay. One example would be Splatoon, with its free DLC that updated, oh man, like almost monthly, or very consistently. But I can understand that from when Splatoon launched, it only had, I think, like 4 stages maybe, and a couple of modes, and then certain things were unlocked after a certain level was reached, and then more stuff was added freely. Nintendo called it free, and that's awesome. It was free, but to me, you know, it wasn't really free. It was just parts of the game that needed to be added later on, because Nintendo is not used to online play. It still isn't. It still has a long way to go, and hopefully those things will be fixed with the NX. But as far as Splatoon, I'm completely okay with it, because with how it turned out and the way how it went about it, because Nintendo was not used to online play. It still isn't, as I said. They needed to release piece after piece, little by little, so they can understand it better. This was their first, not only brand new IP that was, in years, that was just, it was a genre that Nintendo has not mastered. And that would be shooting, online shooters and stuff, but they made the best of it. They did a very unique experience, and it worked wonderfully. And with the way how they went about it, it worked fine. You know, I didn't see a lot of people complaining, except for people that were used to the genre already. To me, I was not used to it, so yeah, that's that. But I mean, other games with companies that know what they're doing. I'm looking at you, Capcom. You've made a lot of mistakes lately, and maybe not as bad as Konami has as of recent, but you've made some pretty odd choices, and you love your online play, and now you're not charging for DLC. In fact, I don't think there's like any packages or anything where you can purchase you can purchase like alternate characters, or I'm sorry, stuff in the store that you buy with fighting points that you earn. I don't think there's a way to buy that otherwise, which I kind of question, because wasn't Capcom always about that? Now they're like, oh, we'll give it for free monthly, you know, to update the game every month and stuff like that. But there's still hardly that much content for single player. Of course, that big story mode is coming whenever that's coming, unless if it already did release. See, I haven't been following Street Fighter V news that closely because I'm kind of let down at this point. So, I know the Guile, whatever, it has been released, I think, a day ago. But otherwise, what else? Has the story mode been released? I need to check. But even then, like, what is this story mode? This has got to be a fantastic story mode. I mean, hell, they've amped it up so much during each and every cutscene, bare bones cutscene during the story modes, and it's got my curiosity definitely peaked at it. I'm like, what is this? What is with Shadaloo? What is going on? And we don't know. They just keep on giving hint after hint after hint. I want to know the full story. Will that change my opinion? Maybe I'll give an update. Maybe I'll give an update video, seeing if that changed my opinion. But as of now, my opinion is that Street Fighter V is just a rushed mess. with a lot of things. I'm pretty sure they just rushed that out. They could have had story mode ready, but they just rushed it out. They could have had an arcade mode. They could have put more time in it, but they rushed it out. Is it because it was an exclusive this time to Sony? Was that it? Because that was a big shocker. You know, everyone thought like, oh yeah, Street Fighter, that's going to be on every system. No. Well, of course not the Wii U, but I mean Xbox One. I don't know, shocked at that. So could it have been something with exclusivity? Was it Sony's decision making? I don't know. I'm not looking really to blame. I just want to see what was the problem. What happened during development that made these extreme changes? And will games from Capcom be like this in the future? Or even for that matter, any company? Will it really be like that? I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Nintendo has been free with internet and stuff like that for the longest time. Nintendo tends to take care and give love and concern in all of their games, just about. All of their games on the Wii U have been love-ridden with care and time and HD beautiful goodness. Sure, the games may not be at the top of the line specs of today, but they did really good, and that's once again why it's going back to the Wii U. Why am I'm inching towards that rant again. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's the Wii U has more life in it, but it's just that it could be done better. But anyway, I'm trying to scoot away from that. I'm trying to get away from that. I just want things to work out for the video game market, home console market, I should say, because with the way how things are looking for the future, they're not too bright. They are and they're not, and I'm gonna miss it if physical games get taken away. I know a lot of people keep on saying, "Oh, the next generation is gonna have no boxed game. It's boxed games. It's all gonna be digital." And yeah, because I mean, for me, I'm a retro video game collector. Well, I mean, I collect the whole video games really, as long as I have the system, or even if I know I'm going to get the system in the future, you know, whatever. I love collecting video games, and one of the biggest joys of it is just going to a retro video game store and looking at all the boxed games. You know, there's just something about it, but that could be the old-fashioned me talking. I mean, to be honest, it would save on space for a lot of people, of course. I mean, you do, once again, have to put in more money for space for your memory and stuff like that. Of course, you have to do that, so once again, it is more money. But would the price of games go down if they were not in box? I don't know. I can honestly see the price maybe staying the same, but with no tax, because you're not buying it at any certain store. You're just buying it from the official store itself. But I don't know. To answer that, I mean, maybe I'm being stupid on that subject too, because I've never really bought a big game, like a $60 game for, you know, on the online store, say like the Wii U's eShop or whatever. I've never done that because I don't like to take up so much space with those games. I mean, hell, the Wii U's memory is crap anyway, 32 gigabytes. What is that? So, yeah. So with that being said, I mean, I haven't bought a game online, a full purchasable, cannot talk, purchasable, bleh. A full retail, there's the word actually I should be using, a full retail game like that online, because of the gigabyte space and stuff like that. I don't like to do that. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the prices for the games themselves, but pretty sure they're the same as they are in store, so I guess the only thing you're saving on is space, but not in your memory, so gotta buy that 1,000 terabytes of memory. That's nice. That's nice. I guess it ain't that much, but I don't know. Once again, that's probably my old-fashioned self talking about video games and stuff coming out. And, yeah, so. But I think I've gone on about this long enough. I have a bad feeling this is past 30 minutes, and if that's the case, oh boy. If you're still listening after this point, thanks for watching. Yeah. I hope it didn't pass 30, I might have. Whatever. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night or fantastic day. And, yeah, hopefully my opinions and insight help you out. As I said before, got a lot of stuff coming for Season 2. Season 2 is not coming out yet. It's taking a little bit more time. This will probably be up midway point of the week. So, let me think. Where is my calendar? What the heck is the calendar? Oh man, I don't even think they put it up. Well, okay, here we go. May 2nd, so maybe in 2 or 3 days this will be up. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Guys and girls, have a fantastic day or night. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.